Good evening and welcome to the Village Board meeting for the Village of Pleasantville. Today is Monday, January 11. If you're watching live on Monday, January 11, we encourage you to call in if you have comments or questions. Our call-in number is 769-1677. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for 2 weeks, Monday, January 25 at 8 p.m. with a work session at 7. As always, you can watch us live on Verizon or Cablevision Cable TV or at pctv76.org in a live webcast, and within a couple of days an on-demand webcast allows you to pick up whatever sections of the meeting are of interest to you. I apologize that we're starting about 15 minutes late. We started tonight at 6 o'clock in a work session talking with planning consultants from BFJ Planning who have assisted us in the past on several projects regarding the idea of updating the village's master plan and also specifically focusing on some issues that relate to development in the downtown, both requests that we've received from some property owners for potential changes in zoning and our general concern about setting up a context in which some of the properties in the downtown can be redeveloped. So you'll hear quite a bit more of that in the coming weeks and months as we kick off a project. The board is engaged in the process right now of trying to determine how broad a rewrite of the existing master plan we want to undertake. The existing master plan, if anyone's interested, is available online under the Planning Commission page, I believe, at pleasantville-ny.gov. And we're talking about a section update, a targeted update, or a full-blown update of the entire master plan. More on that as it develops. Also want to report that we met with folks from Metro North who are talking to us about a substation project. They need to add electrical substations to increase the power available to the Upper Harlem line, which is currently power constrained. It's a project that may not actually get funded and happen for 5 or 10 years or more. But what we're talking to them about is a project that would entail the construction of a substation on the ledge of the retaining wall just north of our Manville Road parking lot. So that's behind Wells Fargo area. We'll obviously be talking to the adjacent homeowner, property owners, to homeowners across the street, and with Metro North as well to talk about what their preliminary plan is and before we commit to anything. I had a couple of announcements to make. First off, a shout out to the Chamber of Commerce and to our retail base for all the good work they did in promoting Pleasantville as a shopping destination during the holidays. Thanks to those guys for running many useful programs that I know for a fact were beneficial to quite a number of our retailers. So hopefully everybody prospered as a result of that. Great news from the folks at the Pleasantville Community Garden, which is operating a community garden with space on the side yard at St. John's Church, and also picking up extra food from the Pleasantville Farm Market on weekends, and at some times in the year also growing food on the gardens at the middle school and high school. As of a week ago, they had donated 11,115 pounds of fresh food to various food pantries. So really, really an impressive thing. Pleasantville Strong has a training event for Narcan. Do you want to report that, Colin?
Yeah, on Wednesday, January 20th at the Mount Pleasant Library, the library right here in Pleasantville at 7 o'clock. We're having Narcan training. You can go to our Facebook page to sign up. Pre-registration is required. I don't know if a lot of people know Narcan is an antidote for opioids. And in April, the governor signed authorization to let non-first responders to get this type of training. So you come, it's 2 hours, you get your training, and then you have to recertify yourself every 2 years. But we do encourage anyone who would like to come to join us. Again, that's Wednesday, January 20th. And the website is health.westchestergov.com/Narcan if you want to go to the website.
Where is it? I'm sorry?
It's going to be at the library.
Great.
Am I right, Colleen, that it requires advanced registration? You can't just show up?
You can't just show up because there is quite a bit of stuff they have to do. You also get a kit, a Narcan kit, and they'll have just enough kits for those who are pre-registered. And then if you ever have to use it, you then are able to go back to the county and get a new kit if you ever have to use it again. So, yes.
So I'm just looking at the flyer. The online registration is at health.westchestergov.com/Narcan.
Right.
Or you can call the Division of Health Promotion, which is 914-995-6584.
And we have our own registration page.
Great.
And the link is also on our Facebook page.
Then a number of people have asked me about the evolution of the former Pizza Hut on Marble Avenue, and any of you who get the village emails about the Planning Commission will see that that is now on the Planning Commission agenda. It is owned by a new owner. The Damiano Barilli engineering firm has purchased the former Pizza Hut site. They intend to demolish it and construct a new two-story mixed-use building on the existing foundation footprint. And their preliminary plan, I think, was to have some retail space on part of the first floor and to occupy the rest of it with their own offices. So good news to see that building, that property recycled into a new and productive use. Then the last thing I wanted to mention is you can Google around if this is of interest to you, but a couple of months ago, or actually back in September, Steve Martin and Jerry Seinfeld showed up in Pleasantville, New York. Part of their Two Guys Out Having Coffee, or some subtitle, is that the title? They wandered around Pleasantville and were sighted outside Starbucks. They went to the Pleasantville Diner, and Steve Martin had the egg salad sandwich, and Jerry Seinfeld had a mozzarella omelet. All of this is now recorded and up online at their site, so if you Google around a little bit, you can enjoy a 30-minute video, a little piece of which is Steve Martin and Jerry Seinfeld in the friendly confines of Pleasantville, New York. So an amusing enterprise, to say the least. Anybody else have any other announcements?
I just, it's not very good news, but we lost a longtime village resident on Sunday morning. Jimmy Sullivan passed away, and it's just heartbreaking for all of us. He was a big presence on the Pleasantville swim team for a gazillion years. He was that timer in lane 4 that was always there with us, and also ASO. He did a lot of things with his daughter Kat, and he passed away on Monday, and there'll be a service, I believe, Friday at the Country Club, a celebration of his life, which was a great one. So we'll miss him very much.
Thank you for that, and condolences to the Sullivan family and to all of his friends. If there are no other announcements, we'll jump to the resolutions. Number one.
Look at
Steve.
that. New year. Okay. Resolved that pre-check registers dated January 11th, 2016, covering check numbers 82308 through 82314, involving credit card refunds and related credit card fees, and check numbers 82315 through 82425, involving purchases, expenditures that have been reviewed and are hereby approved as listed below. From the general fund, the water fund, the capital fund, the refuse fund, and the special purpose fund, a total of $234,531.38.
Is there a second?
Second?
Comments or questions on the check register? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Mindy, number 2.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees has reviewed the minutes of the meeting held on Monday, December 28th, and they are hereby approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions or corrections on the minutes of December 28th? That was a short meeting the week between Christmas and New Year's. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Number 3, Colleen.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village clerk to publicly advertise for bids for public sidewalk and curb improvements.
Is there a second?
Second.
Patty, you want to describe what's in play here?
We issue invitations for bids every 2 years, and we are then able to work with a contractor on our 50/50 sidewalk replacement programs or anything that the village needs with respect to curbing and sidewalk work in the next 2 years at a predetermined fixed price. So it's just really just going, it's not a specific project, it's just going out for project rates.
Any comments or questions?
Does Jeff have thoughts on any specific areas that need work now, or is it just something that we'll get a rate now and we'll figure out what we're going to do?
We'll be working at the northern end of the plaza in spring, doing some work in collaboration with the beautification committee, and there are
A couple small spots here and there.
Yeah, these are little pieces left over here and there. Some on Manville Road we would like to tackle.
Okay.
But
Nothing
we've
specific.
really done a great job keeping the sidewalks up,
Yes.
and so have the residents that have been affected by this. Our
Beautification
50/50
had pointed
programs
out
are pretty
some on
good.
Wheeler,
Yeah, there's a couple
too.
of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, as an aside, reminds me I was remiss in my holiday shout out to the Chamber of Commerce. A shout out to the folks on the beautification committee led by Kathy Dinkle, who were responsible for the lights and the garlands and the holiday decorations in the downtown,
They've done a great
with
job.
the able assistance of Mario Sensoda and the Parks crew. So thank you, Kathy Dinkle, again, and thank you to every member of the beautification committee. All right. Resolution 3, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 4, Joe.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village treasurer and deputy treasurer to attend the annual Munis training conference in Phoenix, Arizona, at an estimated cost of $2,100 per person. Said conference expense is included in the current fiscal year ending 2016 budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
Munis is our financial management and accounting program used for all kinds of things at this point as well, including linking to our water billing and our online payments and the like. Mary and Noreen do a great job, and to their credit, are interested in always staying up to date. Any comments or questions?
No, I think it's good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Number 5, Steve.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village treasurer to amend the fiscal year 2016, I assume budget, right? Or accounts, what would we want to put in there? It just says amend the
Budget.
Budget, thank you.
2016 as follows. So budget transfers, there's $1,000 from contingent, actually there's $2,325 coming from a contingent account to legal notices, metered parking accounts, and then from judgments and claims, $12,765, and a $50,000 transfer to capital for sidewalk project. Transfer to capital for sidewalk project, that's $62,765. And that's appropriating fund balance. And then increasing revenue and expense accounts, there's $12,000 from a prior year gross receipts account going to an audit of gross receipts account, $12,968. $6,268 sidewalk programs over to capital sidewalk project, and $50,000 from interfund transfer from general over to capital sidewalk projects, for a total of $69,236. And that was probably very hard to follow. And I apologize for the back
No,
and
I actually
forth.
did very well.
Is
Thank
there a
you.
second?
Second.
Patty, you want to just give the thumbnail sketch about the transfer to capital?
Yeah, what we have here is taking in some revenue from 50/50 sidewalk programs, about $6,268 coming in, so we put that back into our sidewalk capital. We also need to transfer some fund balance to cover some sidewalk expenses attributed to the retaining wall at Ashbourne, where we did that joint project.
Right.
And then some other things that we had done out on Broadway that we knew needed to be followed up with respect to repair in the fall. So that's basically the third part of the amendment you see there. We're also receiving revenue from gross receipts. We did an audit of the gross receipts tax that we receive from various telephone companies that operate throughout the village. And we are going to be sharing some of this revenue with the company that performed the audit, but essentially they found that over almost $13,000 was due to village, so that's good. So we'll get about $7,000 of that money once we pay the fee back to the vendor. So, but we're recording that in as well as revenue. And then with respect to the fund balance appropriation, we have a certiorari settlement that the board settled months ago, Sperber, that just became due, so we're moving that money to pay that claim. And then the other accounts that you see in the first section, these contingent transfers, these are all coming from general fund to set up new line items for the new pay stations.
Right.
Because we really didn't have them at the start of the year. And we'll have some Wi-Fi bills and some other bills, transaction fees and the like. So you'll just see what we did there. We set up a small account to carry us through the rest of the year for those new pay stations.
So the first group, there's an existing budget line, contingent 400, line 400.
That's right. The general fund has a contingent line. that we're using.
And there was money in the budget for things that we thought, well, we don't know what we're going to spend it on, but we're going to spend it on something,
Correct.
maybe. and we're moving that over to specific lines now to spend in
That's
pay
right.
stations.
That's right.
And then the increase in revenue, the third group, it looks like we had some unanticipated revenues, and we're using that for some appropriate things.
Yes.
Sidewalk, capital project, things like that. The fund balance, especially I'm looking at the $50,000 transfer to capital from sidewalks. Was that was that anticipated as in part of our budget, knowing that we were going to be using some fund balance, or thinking maybe we'd use some fund balance for a purpose, this purpose, or some similar purpose, or is this
No.
a new?
It's
we just need it.
That's correct. We needed to do the $28,000 for the repair of the wall at the garden area next to Ashbourne.
Okay.
So that's coming out of the sidewalk budget because it was done under sidewalk contracts in conjunction with sidewalks there. And then we had some additional sidewalk work done as a consequence of 50-50 with some homeowners that we thought was a good idea to get done because there were liabilities for us.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm just wondering. I don't think they're bad ideas to do. We should be doing them. I'm a big believer in capital improvement and fix it up. If it's broken, fix it. That's fine. Just wondering if it was anticipated or not. If it's not, that's okay. I'm just
Right. No, it's
just keeping an
extra.
eye.
We had a budget for sidewalks this year. We've exceeded it. We've done a lot of work this year, and I think it was necessary. We had a great rate. We had a good year to work in. The weather cooperated, so
Yeah.
we kept going
Yeah.
to get it done.
Okay.
All right.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. Motion approved. Patty mentioned the retaining wall and sidewalk work over at Ashbourne Hall, and I just want to mention, I've received a number of questions about it. There was a sloped sidewalk that ran between Ashbourne Hall and the Pocket Park at the end of Wheeler Avenue that went down to the parking area and to the back doors of Ashbourne Hall. That sloped sidewalk is owned by Ashbourne and has been a consistent problem since the day it was built because of ice and snow and spalling of the concrete. At the same time, the village had a problem with the retaining wall, the low retaining wall adjacent to that that holds up the edge of that pocket park. And the decision was made in a joint venture between Ashbourne and the village to replace that retaining wall and eliminate the end of that walkway that comes out to Wheeler Avenue, both to solve our retaining wall problem and to solve Ashbourne's problem with a sidewalk that was unsafe in many circumstances and which was a consistent maintenance problem. So the result is we have a new retaining wall and a set of steps with railings that goes up from the area opposite the Ashbourne parking garage and into the pocket park. Bit of a long-winded description, but a couple of people have asked me, why was that done and why was it necessary? The result, I think, is going to solve two problems: the retaining wall and the walkway, and I hope will be a success for all. So, number 6.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby refers the right-of-way parking encroachment request it received from the owners of 28 Summit Place to the village's Planning Commission for review and recommendation.
Is there a second?
Second.
So this is an owner of 28 Summit Place who is in the position of legalizing a long-standing existing condition, but seeks to sell the house and finds that there is a code compliance issue.
Correct.
In the end, they will be seeking an encroachment agreement from us.
Right. Well, the first step is to
Right.
refer this to the Planning Commission just from a site plan,
Right.
for a site plan review, and if the planning, they'll make a determination and
Okay.
make a recommendation to you.
All right, any comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. Motion approved. That being the last of our resolutions, is there any new business? All right, we're going to be moving back into work session after this meeting. Eric Gordon from Keenan Bean, our counsel, is here, and we'll be talking about the documents that we will be asked to sign with Sustainable Westchester regarding the Community Choice Aggregation Energy Program. Much has been said about that a few months ago, and you will hear more about it soon. Sustainable Westchester is close to the point, or believes they're close to the point, of going out to market to find an alternative energy supplier. And at the point at which that happens and the village signs the requisite agreements to fulfill our resolution to join this program, any homeowners in the Village of Pleasantville who are currently Con Ed customers will receive a mailing reporting the new community choice segregation program, the terms under which it will operate, and offering everybody an opportunity to stay in the program, which is the default position, or to opt out of it by mail or telephone call or via the web. So more on that soon. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all. Happy New Year. Resolution 1 is in the books. See you again in 2 weeks, Monday, January 5.
25.
25.
Sorry, 25. Right.
I was going to say we missed it.
Yeah.
Backward.